Hello and welcome to the Thunkable tutorial for creating a Branches of Government quiz app. You're going to start at thunkable.com. You're going to go to sign in, and we're using Android today. We're going to make an Android app. You'll be taken to a screen that has you sign in with Google, so it should be automatic if you've already signed into Google in your browser, but if not, go ahead and sign in. Right here in my account, I have other apps that I've made. If you have some in yours, you're just going to leave those alone and go to Create New App. We're going to title this app. For me, I decided I wanted my app name to be 3 Branches. And I'm also going to include my initials at the end in capital letters so that I can tell it apart from any other apps that other people might create in my account. You cannot use symbols or spaces in your app name, and you also cannot start it with a number. So go ahead and make a name for your app and press OK. Then you'll be taken to our screen where we build the app. On the left, we have the palette with all of the different elements that we might use in our app, and on the right, we have a place to change the properties of those elements. Now let's take a look at my worksheet over here where I did some planning as to what I want my 3 Branches app to look like. I want an introduction screen. On screen 1, I want it to say 3 branches, and then how much do you know about the branches of government? Answer these questions to find out. And then we also need a button that says take the quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and make that first page here. And the way that we bring over text is to use a label. So I'm going to go over to my palette and choose a label. And on the right-hand side, we change the properties of that label by scrolling down. And I have this text box here where I can erase label 1 and type 3 branches because that's the name of my app. And I just want a label there that will kind of tell people what the app is about. I'm going to change my font size. I might make it 30. I can also bold it. I can change the color. So down here, I can change the color. And when I'm happy with that, I'm going to bring over another label for the kind of the introduction text. Remember, I had this. How much do you know about the branches of government? Answer these questions to find out. So that's a lot of text. We're going to do the same thing. And you'll notice, how much do you know about the branches of government? Take this quiz to find out. You'll notice that it goes beyond the sides. That's okay. It will do this on this screen, but when we test the app on an Android device, it will wrap the text and you'll be able to see it just fine. I do want to make that a little bigger. And I also want to have that one be bold. I'm going to center it. We can't really tell when it's off the side like this, but when we test it, we will have it centered in the middle there. All right, and then the next thing I need was that button to actually start the quiz. So this time we're going to grab button and drag it over and change the text on the button to say, take the quiz. All right. Now, we need to, let's go back and look at what else we want here. So when that button is pressed, we want it to open another screen. We're going to call that screen Q1, and we'll have our first question with some possible answer buttons. I'm going to go ahead and set that first question up on a new screen. So if you look in the top right-hand corner of your screen, there's this button here that says Add Screen. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to erase the title that's there. It said Screen 2. We're going to change that to be Q1 for Question 1. So we're going to do the same thing we just did on this new screen. We're going to bring over a label that says the actual question. So for me, I'm going to ask a question about, let's see, what branch is comprised of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Okay, question mark. All right, I'm gonna again make that a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. And then I need my options. So I'm gonna bring 3 buttons over, button 1, button 2, and button 3. Okay, and for now, I'm just going to label them with the options. So the 3 different branches are legislative, executive, and judicial. So we'll get those labels on the buttons. And then we also need another button that says next. And you can change the format of these buttons if you'd like, but we'll probably work on that later. Okay, so when this button is pressed, we'll go to question 2. So you would add a screen called Q2 and do the same thing, question and the 3 different labels. So what we're going to do now is I'm not going to go through that with you guys. You can do that on your own. So you're going to set up all of your screens, add more screens for as many questions as you want. Just make sure that you're labeling it with a Q1 and that you have 4 buttons, a label and 4 buttons on each question screen. To navigate, you can click on this drop down here to go back and forth so that you're not losing track of where you are. So screen 1, question 1, then you'll have a question 2, question 3, question 4. I would recommend 3 to 5 questions. So go ahead and do that, and then I will see you in the next video.